I have a client who I'm going to call Chris, and he'd been married for 20 years when he found out that his wife had been involved in an emotional affair for the last 2 years. It was really easy for him to see that as a betrayal because it was. But the harder thing for him to see was that he too had been doing some betraying himself. He had been lying and betraying himself for a long time. He'd been telling himself that he was happy enough to stay in the marriage and that it really wasn't that bad. He'd been telling himself that he was probably the problem, so he kept trying to make it better. He kept saying that he could hang in there a little bit longer so the children wouldn't have to do or, have to go through a divorce and endure all that comes with that. But the truth is that he wasn't happy and he had lost himself a little bit more each day. It was just easier to lie to himself and lose himself little by little. He told me that it was easier than giving up his family, his dreams, and his security and wrecking his life. When we betray ourselves by not telling ourselves the truth, it's just as bad as betrayal within the marriage, like the emotional affair that I mentioned earlier. It just tends to happen over the course of years instead of a sudden single event.